Welcome to the Fearful Fright series, where we will be reading with our favorite green ghoul, Grimmer. Now sit back and enjoy this twisted tale. Today our story is called Secret in the Woods. Marlena Chastity and Jimmy Rolfe had been dating just long enough to think camping together was a romantic idea and not a terrible test of patience. They drove 3 hours north until the road thinned into dirt, the trees grew tall and whispery, and the sun dipped low like it was tired of watching them make questionable decisions. According to the map, Marlena said, squinting at her phone, "This is Whisperbone Woods." Jimmy raised an eyebrow. "That's not comforting." "Relax," she said. "It's probably just a name." The woods, however, did not agree. They creaked. The wind sighed through the branches like it was telling secrets. Somewhere far away, an owl hooted in a way that sounded suspiciously judgmental. They set up their tent near a clearing and built a bonfire as the sky turned purple, then black. Sparks snapped upward, and the fire crackled like it was laughing at private jokes. The shadows stretched long and crooked, bending into shapes that looked almost like people, if you didn't stare too hard. Marlena wrapped herself in a blanket. "Okay. This is officially spooky cute." Jimmy poked the fire with a stick. "Spooky, yes. Cute. Pending." They roasted marshmallows until one caught fire and had to be ceremonially mourned. Then they sat back, listening to the woods breathe. That was when Jimmy grinned. "You know what this needs." Marlena narrowed her eyes. "If you say, ghost stories, I'm throwing a marshmallow at you." "No," he said, clearing his throat dramatically. "A song. A song. A spooky campfire song," Jimmy announced, standing up. "But, like, silly." Before Marlena could stop him, he began to sing in a low, wobbling voice, snapping his fingers off beat. "Oh, the moon's got teeth and the trees got toes. And the dirt's got secrets nobody knows. Rattle your bones, wiggle your feet. If you hear a knock, don't answer, retreat. Clackety-click go the bones in the ground. They're tired of lying, they wanna come round. Sing it loud, sing it wrong. Wake the dead with a campfire song." Marlena burst out laughing. "You sound like a haunted ukulele." Jimmy bowed and kept going, louder now, stomping his foot. "Skull on the left and femur on the right. Everybody dance in the pale moonlight. If you lost your head, don't lose your groove. Shake those bones, do the spooky move." The fire flared brighter. The wind stopped. From the far edge of the clearing came a faint sound. Clack. Jimmy froze mid-lyric. "Ah, did you hear that?" Another sound answered. Clack clack. The ground near the trees began to tremble. Dirt puffed upward like popcorn. A pale hand, nothing but bone, poked through the soil, waving cheerfully. Marlena screamed, then paused. Was that waving? Another skeleton burst from the ground, then another, and another, skulls popping free, rib cages stretching, legs assembling themselves like they were late to a party. Within seconds, at least a dozen skeletons stood around the campfire. Some wore scraps of old flannel. One still had hiking boots. Another had a rusted lantern hanging from its arm. They looked at Jimmy. He swallowed. "I think they like the song." One skeleton clapped. Another began tapping its foot. A third did a weird shimmy that made its spine ripple like a slinky. Jimmy, trembling but committed, continued singing. "We were buried deep, we were buried mean. By bad old folks we ain't ever seen. But music's magic, music's the key. So dance, dear bones, and wiggle free." The skeletons cheered, an awful, rattling sound like 1,000 wind chimes falling downstairs. They danced. Oh, how they danced. One did the twist. Another attempted the moonwalk and lost a leg, which another skeleton politely returned. Two skeletons formed a conga line, chanting, "Bones! Bones! Bones!" in rhythm. Marlena stared, slack-jawed. Okay. This is either real, or I ate a very bad marshmallow. A tall skeleton with a cracked skull leaned toward her and tipped an invisible hat. Another spun a rib cage like a hula hoop. The fire burned green and blue now, casting goofy shadows that jittered across the trees. Jimmy sang faster, sweat pouring down his face. No flesh, no fear, just click and clack. We're dancing 'cause we can't go back. Round the fire, stomp the night. Sing us strong, sing us right. The skeletons danced harder, faster, bones flying, skulls bobbing. One attempted a backflip and exploded into a polite pile, then reassembled with a thumbs up. Marlena grabbed Jimmy's arm. I think they're stuck dancing. Jimmy gasped. I can't stop singing. The skeletons leaned closer, empty eye sockets glowing faintly with firelight. The wind began to circle them, spinning leaves and ash into a whirling ring. Finally, Jimmy's voice cracked. I gotta stop. He stopped singing. The effect was instant. Every skeleton froze mid-dance. Then, clatter. They collapsed. Skulls rolled. Bones fell into neat piles. One femur bounced twice and landed in the fire, where it toasted politely. Silence returned to the woods. The fire dimmed back to orange. Marlena and Jimmy stood there, breathing hard, surrounded by harmless heaps of bones. After a long moment, Marlena said, "So, never sing again?" Jimmy nodded. "Never again." From one bone pile, a skull turned slightly and whispered, "Encore." They screamed, grabbed their things, and sprinted into the tent, zipping it shut as fast as humanly possible. Outside, the woods sighed. Somewhere, faintly, came the sound of bones clacking, very softly, almost like applause. And from that night on, Whisperbone Woods earned a new rule. No campfire singing after dark.